Okay, I think we're ready. I think we're here. Welcome, welcome to the first Sacred Science Sunday. So today I'll be talking about what I found, reading a couple different research articles on two different topics. So I'm going to start with the article on meditation, stress, and the immune system. So I am out of Michigan and the coronavirus numbers are up. And maybe we're feeling stressed out, kind of out of control. Maybe we're scared right now. And this felt like a really relevant article to review this week. So, as you may know, I'm a trauma informed yoga teacher, so I focus a lot on the fight or flight response. So, this is the response that's happening in PTSD, but the truth is that fight or flight is also happening to everybody in everyone's life at some point. And probably you have had some fight or flight in response to news that you've heard this year. So this article was really great. It was what they call meta-analysis. So they pulled together, I think it was like 400 different articles, books, and research on meditation, stress, and the effect of the immune system. So just kind of giving a broad overview, when we have a stress response, a fight or flight response, we initially feel it in our more prominent psychological responses. So have like beating of your heart is super irregular, maybe kind of fast, might have some sweaty palms or not be able to catch your breath. So those would be like, kind of the outward physiological signs. But it goes deeper, a lot deeper than that in our bodies. So we also have an internal response to stress that is mostly in our lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system is your lymph nodes. We have lymph nodes all over our bodies. It's down into your thighs, in your throat. You may have had like swollen lymph nodes from a cold before in your throat. So just in a lot of different aspects of our body, they send the immune response all throughout the body. And then the second place that we would have this stress response is the gut. So it's kind of like a drop down level, right? We go through the lymphatic system and that's stimulated enough to move into the gut. And so this is another instinctual fight or flight when you are being chased by a lion in the wild. You would turn off the ability to digest your food so that you can use all of that energy to, get out of the way of the immediate threat. So what happens with chronic stress, right? Like our fight or flight is meant to be just, a short period of time. We're supposed to be stimulated enough to escape this threat and then, return back to regular life. But there's some uh, recuperation that has to happen with that. And sometimes we just don't make that time. We're having a cellular response to stress and we don't make the time to relax, restore, and really care for everything that has happened in the body when we became, either emotionally or physically jolted in some way. So if we allow that stress to build, we can see, an increase of inflammation generally in the body. So you might be, puffy kind of all the time, and then you'll also see um, permeability of the gut wall. So basically, what's happening here is the gut wall no longer knows what's good and what's bad. And so it's not fighting off the pathogens that it needs to. And this can lead to, some inappropriate bacteria existing in the gut, and then you'll have inflammation there. And so we see this a lot with like irritable bowel syndrome. There's a high prevalence of irritable bowel syndrome and anxiety because it's so related to a stress response. So another level to this is our genetics. So that stress response is held for a really long time. Then we start to alter our DNA. The stress alters our DNA and can turn on or off different receptors that will lead to disease. So that could lead to a disease in your lifetime or in the lifetime of another. So this like sounds stressful, right? To learn about stress is stressful. I feel like it's this meta thing of like we can't be stressed, and then you learn about everything that stress does, and it's almost like performance anxiety. Like I better not be stressed because I know stress is so bad, and I feel like learning about stress can be stressful, but I would say, in response to that, to not worry that what I've just presented to you through the information in this research article is, factual information, but we have an incredible ability to control our stress too. And what does that look like? Meditation, right? So specifically, this article focused on how meditation can change the immune response, can help us to recover from the fight or flight response faster, and how it can affect each of those different, sort of chronic stress points. So regular meditators have a altered genetic system too. So say they were brought into this world by parents that had chronic stress, maybe there was generational trauma. If that person is really committed to yoga, meditation, they can start to turn off the genes that were altered through their history. So in the same way that your stress can turn them on, meditation can turn them back off, which is pretty cool. Like you're relaxed on a DNA level. And I think that that's amazing. And then two, in this rest and recovery where we're, kind of healing on a cellular level, you're able to decrease some of the biomarkers of inflammation. If you're interested in knowing specifically what those are, they are IL-6 and C-reactive proteins. So when they're like measuring inflammation in the body, this is what scientists would be looking for. And then coming back to the gut. So meditators have improved gastrointestinal function, they're better at digesting food, and if they are struggling with IBS, some of those symptoms can be reduced by a meditation practice. So what is the takeaway of this article? Generally, that stress is pretty bad for you, but meditation is just as good for you. So I would invite you to try to incorporate meditation into your life. And one little token that I'll give you is that you don't have to do it right and you don't have to do it for a long time to have benefits. We can get so much out of 5-minute meditation practice. So check it out. Maybe share your experience with meditation in this group. That's really what this space is for. All right, so Article 2, kind of topic 2. Again, coronavirus, we're all kind of stressed out. So my mom bought me this UVC LED sanitizer wand. And I just wanted to know, like, does it work, I was recently in a lecture on UV light, and we actually talked specifically about sanitation through UV light. So I read a couple articles on, can this thing be useful? And this is the right kind of UV light. So you want ultraviolet light to kill bacteria. And, like any other wave of light is not going to have a antibacterial effect like UV light would. So that's really the thing to know there. I would also recommend, from what I read in these two research articles, to use this in combination, not in substitute of cleaning things. In hospital setting, they saw really good results using like a standard cleaning protocol and then using this wand. It's a little bit hard to compare. This one says that you should use it for 20 seconds on a surface, and in the hospital settings, they were sanitizing, like operative rooms for like 20 minutes at a time, and probably at a different nanometer than this. But I figure it can probably only help. One other thing that I thought was pretty interesting, there's a more recent article from like about June, and they were talking about like setting these up in public places so that we could essentially like decrease our risk of coronavirus while we're interacting. However, there's a little bit of inconsistency in whether or not this is safe to actually emit onto your body. This box says that you should not use it on your skin, and I thought it was quite interesting that the proposition in that research article was to just be emitting this light on everyone. So really, I think it's just dependent on the dosage, but it's pretty interesting, and I think especially as we are struggling to find hand sanitizer and maybe looking for some alternative methods to feel safe, this could be a cool tool. So I just thought that I would research it and share that. And how does this relate to mindfulness? I feel like it's really important to have things that make you feel like you have, some agency and some control over your health. So whether that is, a cleaning ritual or a tool like this, it can really help us to feel like we're doing something. And sometimes, in part, like the scientific part, it matters, but it's not everything, just the placebo effect of like doing something can really be powerful too. So I would say, if you're feeling nervous, it's worth a shot. I really love your guys' feedback. If you have anything that you're interested in that you want to hear about on Sacred Science Sundays, feel free to jot it below. And again, please share your meditation experiences this week. I hope that you have a wonderful and restful rest of your day today. And I am out for now.